Let's talk about toning those arms. In this video, I'm going to share with you my secrets for training your biceps, your triceps, or that second wave goodbye, and your shoulders to give you nice, not only sculpted arms, but sculpted shoulders. You're going to see the series of using biceps, triceps, and shoulders in a way that causes you a little muscular fatigue that then between sessions, as you recover, will give you the tone and definition that you want without injury. You can do this at home or at the gym. So get your dumbbells handy, and I would suggest have some smaller pairs, so several. And if you wonder, what do I need? And you don't have weights at home right now, go grab soup cans. They work really well. Make sure you have two identical ones. So don't grab the soup and the beans, but make sure you have exactly the same weight and almost anything will work. At the end of this video, stay tuned to the end because I'm going to share with you why you may be doing arm exercises, but still not getting results. All right, ready? Let's go. The key thing to remember here is you don't need a lot of space. So if you've got an apartment building, you're trying to do this in a pseudo office, in a closet, or your bedroom, you can do it anywhere. You don't have to have a fully complete gym. So I want you to see what I'm using. So I've got a couple sets of weights here. Now, if you're limited on what you've got, remember that you can always get creative. So I could use both of these a little bit later when I get to needing a heavier weight. I can hold them just like this, and I've got small hands. So if I can do it, you too can do it. I've got small ones. And they may feel, you may have weights that feel like this is really too small, this is ridiculous, but just wait till you reach muscular fatigue to decide if that's true or not. Now, before we dive in, I want you to notice something about my feet. When you're ready for more of a challenge, what I want you to do is to think about not just standing. In fact, when you're a beginner, you can sit because then you take all the need to focus on all the parts of your body off. And you don't want to be caught thinking about your arms and then hyperextending your knees or standing in a way that's actually going to put stress on your lower back. Sit down, have a seat, get the arms in, and then gradually stand up when you feel stronger and ready to do so. But I want you to know, if you're ready for more of a challenge, you're going to go here. So you're going to stand hip width apart when we do some longer lever work, but occasionally I'm going to have you stand here, one foot in front of the other, like you were on a balance beam, and you'll have a good side and an other side, but that's going to add an added balance challenge, and we'll incorporate a little bit more core. So progression again, sitting to do them all, and that works just fine. Your arms will not be any less toned because you're sitting. Standing, but making sure you've got good form, easy bend in the knees so you're taking care of your lower back. And then last but not least, we're gonna manipulate so you're actually having to focus a little bit more. All right, let's dive in. When you get started and you're doing something new or a new series of exercises that you don't know what's coming, you always wanna err on the conservative side. So I've got 5 pounds here, but don't gauge what's heavy or light for someone else who isn't you for you. So pick up weights that feel fairly easy right now, which is drop your shoulders down away from your ears. This can easily happen. You're gonna hug yourself with your elbows, and we're gonna just take the arms slightly outside. Put your feet, your stance, if you are standing, a little bit wider than hip width apart, and make sure your knees are bent. We're gonna pull up and then come down. What I want you to notice is that elbow stays right against my side. I'm actually giving myself a little hug and a squeeze coming into my rib cage as I come up and down. Now notice, we're not going fast, we're not swinging it up and down, but I also want you to notice this. I do want to come almost all the way down, not to total release, but I don't want to come all the way up to total release here. So we're going to keep a little tension, and as we come down, we keep that tension here as well. Good, now I'm talking, right? So as we come through this, I'm gonna count out about 8 more, and that'll be between 12 and 15. So here's 1. Slowly we come down. If we add speed, it is on the way up. 2. Slowly come down. 3. Keep your wrist straight, and I'll show you what I mean by not straight on this next one. So on 4, look at my wrist. So if I allow it, I could easily flex in, and you don't want that to happen. That actually puts stress not just on your wrist, but on your elbow. pull up, and then slowly let that come down. Now, if you are truly squeezing your rib cage, you're coming in, even if that started out feeling very light, it's not feeling so light anymore. We're gonna come up again. Good, I just want you to see it from all sides so that you've got the idea of where your stance is and that I'm slightly tucking my pelvis underneath me as I'm standing so that my lower back is protected and my core is actually on. Nice, we're gonna do 2 more and we're not done with those biceps. So in this workout today, we're gonna do a series for biceps and then we'll be done with them and move on. Good, relax, shake that out. You should reach a comfortable fatigue at that point and feel like, oh yeah, I'm aware that was more work maybe than I thought it would be. Now, if you're sitting down, you're just fine. If you're standing, your feet should go a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. You want to be sure that you're slightly tucked forward here and take the precaution to do that because there's going to be more tendency to lean back on this one. We're going to do a long lever. That means coming from here and you're going to be working the bicep as it crosses the shoulder. So we often see these curls, but we don't as often see the long lever, and we need it in order to get the full definition. So draw the shoulders back and down, chin up, and reach forward and then lower down. And already you should have noticed, okay, this is a lot heavier than it was when I was using that short lever from my elbow. And as I lift, I want you to see from the side what I'm doing. That only comes as high as my shoulder. I'm not trying to surpass that because then I'm just gonna creep into the neck and we can leave that tension out, get great tension through the biceps without stressing the neck and the upper back. Nice job. Slowly let that come back down. And notice there's no change in my back. So I'm not wiggling, not floating to the back and then forward, but I do feel there's work happening through my core. This is actually almost a core exercise if done correctly. Great. Now I want you to do 2 more with me. Exhaling as you come up if you can. So as you exhale, you tighten through the core and that gives you a little bit more support. And then relax. Nice. Now again, you should say, okay, now cumulative effect. I'm feeling it a little bit more. And this is your 3rd set for the biceps. And we're going to go right on. Now, the first time we did the curls, we did palm up. We're going to do what we call neutral or palm facing in. So we start down, but we squeeze in, give yourself that hug, and then come up and down. Same principles apply. So we come up slowly, but slightly faster than as you lower down if you like. So we can do that with a little power, meaning it's going to be a little faster, but we always control the stop and we control the lower down. Elbows stay at the exact same spot right against your sides and then lower down. Good. Now you should be starting to feel some fatigue happen because this is the 3rd set. So we're well into or on our way to about 30 repetitions and lower down. There's no magic number for that, but where the magic is we've worked the muscle across the elbow, across the shoulder, and it does both or inserts and originates at each, and we've turned the palms in, we've turned the palms up, and we've done so much more with a full body. Doing them in a row really takes you to full muscle fatigue. Gives you volume over alternating exercises between coming back to the set. And every once in a while, refreshing the way you do it is what it takes to get results. So I'm going to have you do 2 more. If you're at fatigue, you're at fatigue and you've already won the game. So just stop and recover. And again, then lower and relax. Nice work. Shake that out. Okay, let's talk. Before we even pick up weights, this is really important for you to consider. When you take the weight up here, all of a sudden it's further away from your core than say we're doing curls right here. The weights are here, the core is here. As soon as we go up here or away from our body in any way, we have more stress here. This has to pick up the slack. Otherwise, I'm going to tend to arch my back, and that means this is not working. So we need to make sure that when you bring those arms up, you're well aware this is turned on, and as we grab weights, this long lever up here overhead can be problematic. So make sure this is a place where you can be and that you have the shoulder mobility. We really want your biceps right next to your ears here. And we're gonna come down and come up, but I also wanna see a little space from here to here. So don't let that shoulder sneak up. You're gonna drop them down. You're gonna try to squeeze in and then flex the elbows. And that may be a problem, but what I don't want for you is to go wide to the side with the elbows. So we don't need that kind of stress on either the elbow or the shoulder. Keep it up here. Or I'm gonna have you skip and fast forward and you'll go to the next exercise, which may be better. All right, this one is called an overhead press. So I'm gonna hold on to this. I've got 2 weights just because I don't have a single weight that fits what I really need for overload. So my shoulders are down, my biceps squeezing my ears like earmuffs. You're gonna see my lower back here. So what I don't want is to get a big arch. I'm gonna tuck that tailbone under, and then I'm gonna go lower down and exhale to come up. So we always slow this phase, it's called the eccentric phase, as we lower it down toward the back. So you're putting the brakes on, not letting that weight determine how quickly you lower, and then you're exhaling to come up. So you're thinking about the elbows pointed straight at me and lift. Good, and again, lower back, tune in a little bit. So that pelvis should be tipping forward. You're gonna inhale here and exhale and press and come up. Inhale, you're coming down, and then exhale and push and come up. Inhale, lower it down, exhale and come up. Notice how I'm able to talk. So could you talk if you were me? That's a great test of whether you're breathing through the movement, and you want to be, absolutely. If you can inhale here with me and exhale, you get that support with core engagement. It reminds you what you're doing or need to do. Inhale again, exhale and push up. Great job, one more time. Inhale and exhale and come up, and you're gonna bring those elbows and the shoulders back down and in. Nice job. Now, think about how you feel, okay? So you can stay with the ones that you now have, or you can shift and go a little bit smaller, which might be a good idea. And here's why, all right? So we're gonna hinge forward. So if you're sitting, you can still sit down in a chair, hinge forward from your chest, and it's still same form. If you're standing, you have a little bit more to think about, and your lower back may complain a little bit more, so pay attention to that. You're gonna allow the arms to hang down just naturally. Palms are facing back behind me. I have to move my hands just a little bit wider to the side so I can move back here beside my legs and not bump into myself. And then I'm going to push straight back, and I want you to own that and then allow that to come down. So there's 2, and you have to own it at the top. So if this is already feeling heavy, chances are 10 is not going to be very pretty. So it's okay to pause, get a different weight, and then come back and light down. Good. So you're in control. I want you to think of this weight as, this is extremely light. You have it. But right now you should be feeling like the muscles in your upper arm are actually triggering. They're working, and then slow that back down. If your neck bothers you at all, just tuck that chin in a little bit more. We tend to like it up at the point where we strain the neck unnecessarily. It's not gonna help your exercise. Lower that down, and then lift. And we're coming into the home stretch, so hang in there. 3 more if you can. If you're at fatigue, you've reached success. That's where you wanted to be. 1 more time, up, and then lower and release. Nice job. All right, shake that out. Now again, what did we do? So we went here, we did the extension, so we got the triceps as it crosses the elbow. In this one, we got the triceps as it crosses the shoulder, and that's often a forgotten exercise. So I want you to go lighter, no matter what. So if you had soup cans and you can't go lighter than that, try nothing. and we'll use your imagination. You can always add weight later, but it's a better idea to err on the conservative side and not quite get there than to do too much. Never use pink dumbbells. I'm breaking my own rule. Sometimes color is not everything. All right, we're gonna face the same direction or opposed, but I want you to make sure that you're doing almost the same range of motion. This time, however, palms are in. It is not a straight lever alone. What we're gonna do here is allow this to start down, pull those shoulder blades back together even before we begin, and I want you to go back, stay there. You're gonna then flex and extend and then come down, okay? Here we go, lift and flex, extend and lower. Nice job. We're on 3. So think about how you're feeling and then come down. Good, this is 4. And keep the elbows in narrow, keep them in close, and then down. Lift up and flex, extend, and lower. Raise up, flex in, extend, and lower. Good, up and flex, extend, and lower. Good, again, lift and flex, extend, super slow. It's all about really focusing on the contraction. Lift and in and extend and down. Check in with your neck. You want to release, tuck your chin in a little. This is the last one. Hang in there. Up and then down. Relax. Very good. All right, last but not least, we're gonna do overhead shoulder presses. Okay, last but not least is the overhead shoulder press. Now you'll see that if you watch me here, I almost never do overhead presses, but I never ever do them out to the side. There's a lot more risk of shoulder impingement here. So if we do them here. But your other hand in this case actually is also gonna hold a weight. It's just not gonna go. We're gonna do repetitions, alternating sides with the elbows straight in front of your shoulder, not drifting out here. And as you come up and overhead, you have a little bit more control if you have one leg forward and one leg back. If you're sitting down, you're in your great control. Standing up, you're under the least amount of control. Even I prefer to do it right here. So I want you to get weights so that you're challenged, but not too much. Remember, erring on the conservative side, especially if you have a tendency to get tight in the upper back and neck. So we're gonna lift and hold the arms here, and ideally from elbow to shoulder, you're parallel to the ground. So as we do this, we're gonna lift up and come back down and raise up and return. Good, so here's number 2, and down, and 3, and down, and 4, and down, and 5, and come down, 6, and down, and 7, down, 8, down, 9, down, 10, down, 11, and down, and we're counting each one, so keep going, 12, and 13, 14, and 15, 16, try to relax that neck, 17, keep the breath, 18, it should be getting a little challenging. Good, and this is gonna be the last set for each of them. And hold those arms right there. Should be getting a little tense, a little hard, and then lower down. Nice job, good. All right, there you have it. So you've done biceps, you've done triceps, and you've done the shoulders. And if you think about upper arm definition, it's gotta be inclusive of entering the shoulder joint from the front, from the back, and the shoulders as they come down and give that nice cap, shoulder cap that we need. So we can see ultimate definition from all places. Well done. All right, now the truths about why you may be doing those arm exercises, but they're not quite working for you. You're not seeing the muscle tone and definition. And the reason for that is you really have to be working on your entire overall body metabolism. And that's going to come from making sure that you're doing chest and back and legs, a total body workout, because these are relatively small muscles. Although they are major muscle groups of your body, the biceps or the triceps or the shoulders are small in comparison to the large muscles of your chest, large muscles of your back or your bum, your quadriceps or your hamstrings, fronts and backs of the thighs. So if you really want to see muscle definition, you want to work from completely increasing your metabolism with a total body workout. So make sure that's a part of your regular routine, and the arm work is simply at the end of that, not at the beginning, at the end. And as you're doing chest press, when you're doing rowing exercises, you are also incorporating arm work. They're not the primary mover like they are in bicep curls, but when you do a chest press, your triceps is a secondary player. It's the back end doing the work that you need done in order to elevate your metabolism. All of that is still a very positive effect. So you can see the muscle tone that you're creating. It's probably there. If you've been going to muscular fatigue, that is the second missing part for a lot of people. So at the end of each of those sets where we did 10 or 12, you should have felt like definitely that's getting challenging and I can feel it. And you might have been able to squeeze out a couple more repetitions. That just tells you next time I'm going to pick up slightly heavier weights. That can be very helpful. And if you don't have heavier weights at home, the alternative to that is going slower. Try and go slightly slower with the same weight you have. If you're limited, don't have heavier weights, it will feel heavier. Without momentum at all, the slower you go, the harder it will be. There you have it. Let me know below if that was helpful. Stay tuned because I'm going to share another arm workout focusing on in-gym exercises using equipment for those of you that want it. Let me know below, are you exercising at home, at the gym, or a little bit of both? And I'll see you on the flip side. Don't forget to subscribe.